Welcome back to Kings of United States. Today, we're going to dive into the inspiring journey of Michelle LaVaughn Robinson Obama, a woman who not only redefined what it means to be First Lady but also empowered generations with her story, her strength, and her service. Michelle Obama's story begins on the south side of Chicago, where she grew up in a modest apartment with her parents and older brother. Her father, Fraser Robinson, worked for the city's water department despite suffering from multiple sclerosis, and her mother, Marion, stayed home to care for the family. From the very beginning, Michelle was taught the values of discipline, hard work, and perseverance. As a young girl, Michelle was curious, driven, and unafraid to speak her mind. She excelled in school, skipping the second grade and earning a place at Whitney M. Young Magnet High School, one of Chicago's most prestigious public schools. Even in the face of racial and socioeconomic barriers, she stood out, not just for her intelligence but for her leadership and ambition. She then went on to attend Princeton University, where she majored in sociology and minored in African American studies. Being one of the few black students on campus wasn't easy, but Michelle used the experience to sharpen her voice, stand her ground, and grow her perspective. After Princeton, she attended Harvard Law School, where her passion for justice deepened. After graduating, Michelle landed a job at a Chicago law firm, where fate had a hand in her future, because that's where she met a young law student named Barack Obama. She was assigned to mentor him during his summer internship. At first, she wasn't convinced by his laid-back style or idealistic talk. But over time, his depth, compassion, and charisma won her over. The two would marry in 1992, and while Barack pursued a career in public service, Michelle never stood in the shadows. She carved her own path, working for the city of Chicago, then for the University of Chicago Hospitals, where she became Vice President of Community and External Affairs. She worked to bridge the gap between academic institutions and underserved communities, always focused on creating opportunities for others. When Barack launched his campaign for the U.S. Senate, and eventually for president, Michelle was his rock. At times, she was reluctant. The glare of the political spotlight wasn't something she craved. But once committed, she gave it her all, campaigning fiercely, delivering powerful speeches, and standing as an example of dignity and grace under pressure. In 2008, history was made. Barack Obama became the first African American president of the United States, and Michelle became the first African American First Lady. But she wasn't content to be just a symbol. She brought purpose to the role, championing initiatives like Let's Move to combat childhood obesity, joining forces to support military families, and Reach Higher to inspire young people to pursue higher education. Michelle brought authenticity to the White House. Whether planting a garden, dancing with school children, or giving emotional speeches, she remained grounded in the values she grew up with. She reminded the world that leadership isn't about power, it's about service. Throughout her time as First Lady, Michelle faced criticism and challenges, but she always responded with poise. She became a cultural icon, not just for her fashion or public speaking, but for the substance she brought to every room she walked into. She gave voice to people who often felt unheard. She told young girls that their dreams were valid. She encouraged people to rise above hate, to take the high road, and to lead with love. After leaving the White House in 2017, Michelle continued to inspire. She released her memoir, Becoming, which became one of the best-selling books of all time. In it, she told her story with honesty, warmth, and humor, giving people a closer look at her journey and encouraging them to reflect on their own. She also launched the Becoming Book Tour, which sold out arenas and brought thousands together to celebrate personal growth, resilience, and hope. Through her partnership with Netflix, Michelle continues to produce content that uplifts voices from underrepresented communities. Whether in documentaries, children's programming, or speeches, her message remains the same: believe in yourself, be kind, and never underestimate the power of your story. Michelle Obama is more than a former First Lady, she's a mother, a mentor, a changemaker, and a symbol of strength. She's shown us that greatness isn't about where you start. It's about what you give, how you lead, and how you lift others as you climb. Her legacy is still unfolding, but one thing is clear. Michelle Obama is one of the most influential women of our time, not just because of the office she held, but because of the way she continues to inspire people to rise above limitations and live with purpose. Thanks for watching this powerful journey on Kings of United States. If Michelle Obama's